Recording in progress.
For anyone who wants that later. And I'm also going to pin myself. Great. So the tune we'll be covering today is by Nate Leath, who is an awesome fiddler from North Carolina. He was born and raised in North Carolina, and now he's based... Sorry. That's just my speaker. But he's based now in Virginia, and he just makes the most incredible recordings. I highly recommend you guys checking out his stuff. And I've learned a lot of fiddle tunes from these albums because his sense of rhythm, like, actually, if you listen to the spider shoe thing I sent in the first email, there's actually a drum in the background, which is so rare in old time music. It's so rhythmic, but there's not drums very often. So he's just a really cool guy. I really like how he plays music. And this is one of the first tunes that Cammie taught me, actually, Christy, for, Cammie. So, yeah, we'll get into it now. You guys have been to this class before, so it's just the same structure. I'm first going to play through it, and I'm going to first I'll do melody, then I'll play through the chords, and then I'll play through the harmony part. This recording is really fast. We will not be learning it this fast. It's just a sense of, like, where you can take this tune eventually, and you can see everything we'll cover today physically at tempo, because what we do in the class out of context is much slower, so it's hard to see the end goal sometimes. But anyway, so here it is. So it's quite quick. Even I mean, I was losing steam with this recording. Oh, let me pause that. But we'll go through it really slow. I just wanted to give you guys some context for how, like, what the recording sounds like. Hey, Oriana. This is Oriana's first time coming here, so I'm just going to mention that this is a playback class that you can stay muted the whole, or play with class, so you can stay muted the whole time and just play along. Feel free to have your video on or off. That's up to you. Okay, so, Oriana, all you missed was hearing the recording of the tune. And now we're going to dive into a nice little scale warm-up. So the scales I picked to warm up with this tune correlate to the chords of the tune. This tune has 3 parts in it. The first part is all in A mixolydian. So that's just normal A scale with a lowered 7th scale degree. So that's G natural instead of G sharp. So that's the first scale we're going to play. And then the B part is all in B minor. So then we'll play a B minor scale after that. And then the C part is all in D major. So we'll end the scale warm-up doing a D backing track with the scale, and then we'll play the scale twice and then practice improvising over the D backing track. For the first 2 scales, I'm not going to use a backing track just because I'm just going to go through. It's just really to get the scale in your head so that you can hear the notes that we're going to be learning in the melody. So the first scale is going to be an A mixolydian scale. Just listen one time to hear what that sounds like. So it's just a normal A scale. We're just lowering that G sharp to low 2 G natural. All right, I'm going to admit Maddie, and I'll just tell her really quick what we're doing. Hey, Maddie. We're about to do A mixolydian, 1 octave A mixolydian scale. So that's just normal A scale with lower G natural. And we'll do it all together. We'll do slowly 2 beats per note. 1, 2, start on open A. So within that scale, those are all the notes that we're going to be using for the A part of this tune. Now the B part of this tune is just over a B minor chord. So we're going to do a B minor scale just like that. We'll start on 2 on the G string. And if this is helpful to anyone, B minor is just D major, but starting on B. So we're going to have C sharps and F sharps in this scale. We'll just do 1 octave just to get the notes in our ear. If you want to listen first, that's fine. If you want to play along, that's okay too. So starting on B, which is high 2 on the G string, B minor scale, 1 octave. Here we go. that is what we'll be focusing on. That scale is all the notes for the B section of this tune. And then the last section of this tune is in D major. And I consider this to be a D major tune because in terms of chords, it makes sense to me. The whole first part is around the 5 chord, whole second part's around the 6 chord. And then when you finally hit the 1 chord in the C part, it's just really satisfying. So for this part, I will put on a backing track like I have in past classes. And what we'll do is we'll play through a 1 octave D scale. And then with the extra time of the backing track, we'll just do a little improvisation for fun. You can start like just playing around with the notes of the scale and getting different melodies in your ear in the key of D. So here is the backing track, and we'll do 2 beats per note for a 1 octave D scale. Here we go. Now improvise. Guess that's done. Okay, great. So now we're going to jump into the melody of this tune. This is a pretty squirrely tune, but there are patterns that you can start to cling on to that'll help. But we'll go through it really, really slow, and after each section I'll make sure if anybody's any questions they want to hammer out. So the A part slowly sounds like this. Just so you know, there's going to be a lot of 3-note slurs like in the tune Whiteface we did a few weeks ago. So we start on A on the E string. Just listen once. So I think these 3-note up-bow slurs help a lot with hearing the rhythm of the tune, and it helps with the emphasis. The down bows emphasize the parts of the beat that you feel the backbeat on. So, first few notes. We have A, G natural, A, G natural, and an up bow slur. Try just that. Here we go. One more time. You might notice that I'm doing a pulsing beat in the middle of the first note. That's because this first note's actually an anticipation to the downbeat. So I'm kind of marking where it starts. So we have that part. Down bow on open E. And then 3-note slur on D, C sharp, D. Down bow on E. And then we climb up to B on a 3-note slur, F sharp, G natural, A. Like that. So I'll do all that slow and then we'll repeat it a couple times. Here we go. Try with me. That much. One more time. Cool. Any questions so far in that little section we've done? Is that all clear note-wise? Cool. All right, so after this B note, we have a 3-note slur, G natural, A, G natural, open E, back to the D, C sharp, D, and then separate bows, E, E, G natural, A. And that's the halfway point of the A tune. So from the B part, from that B note, it's just so going from B, try 3-note slur, G natural, A, G, down on E, then the next 3-note up bow slur is D, C sharp, then separate E, separate G, back to A. So I'll play everything we've covered up until now, which is this. Let's try that all together. 1, 2, here we go. One more time. Any questions about the notes there? Anything you need me to iron out a little bit more? Are we good to go? Cool. Cool. So then that's the halfway point. Everything else in the A part is just a repeat of that. So the whole A part is... This is the ending. So to end the A part, it's just C sharp, C sharp, A, B, A. So I think we should just try looping the A part like a few times, and I think you guys will get the notes since it's the same pattern over and over again. And we'll do it 3 times now, and then I'll see if anybody has any questions. 1, 2, here we go. Last time. I forgot to mention that at the end of the A, to get back into it for like the second A part, you do E, G, natural A. That little pickup, in case that was surprising to anyone. So that is the whole A section. I think we'll do it a few more times now. But does anyone have any questions they want me to iron out before repeating it a few more times? If not, we'll just keep chugging along. Okay, so now let's try it as AA, because the form of the tune is AA, BB, CCC. The C part happens 3 times. Fun old-time style. So we'll do AA as a whole thing 3 times, which is basically twice as long as what we just did. 1, 2, here we go. Second time through the A. Last time through the A. Cool. How's everyone doing with the A section? Good? Should we move on to the B, or does anybody want to do the A section a couple more times? Good to move on? Okay, cool. So the B section is all over the B minor chord. It's both the B minor chord and then there's a quick 5 chord at the end, which we'll get into at the end of when we get into the chord section. Sorry, I had way too much sun exposure today, so my brain's a little all over the place. But anyway, okay, so the B section I'll play through slowly. It sounds like this. It also has an anticipatory, like that first note is kind of anticipatory. So it sounds like... I find the A part's the hardest, and then each part gets easier. Kind of like Whiteface a couple weeks ago, too. But anyway, so there's still some 3-note slurs in this B section, but what I really like about this B section is it kind of plays with going in between feeling like a triplet pattern into feeling a duplet pattern, and that's kind of expressed in the bowing. So in the 3-note slurs... That's the first part, and then we get more into 2-note slurs. And I just find doing that bowing really helps the like rhythmic quality of the tune. So slowly, excuse me, we have down bow on B, first finger on A string. Then a 3-note slur on A, open A to F sharp, back to open A. So that's the first little idea. Let's try just that much. 1, 2, here we go. One more time. Here we go. And then what comes after that is we start on B. 2-note slur to C sharp D, down bow back on B. Now the 2-note slur is going to be on C sharp B, and then A, F sharp, separate notes. So that next little idea is let's try just that much together. 1, 2, here we go. One more time. So let's combine those two ideas. Listen one time to hear how they sound together. Here I go. And then the very end of the B part is just E, E, F sharp, E. And that's the whole B part. So I think we should just try doing the whole B part since we went through both ideas. We'll do it really slowly, 3 times, and then I'll stop to see if anyone has questions. 1, 2, start on B natural. Once again forgot to mention the pickup notes, which are just F sharp A. You can either do a little pickup to get back into the second B, or you can just play the B note with that like anticipation feeling. So that's the whole B section. Let me just pause really quick before we repeat it more times. Does anyone have any questions about that section? Cool. Let's do it 3 times as BB. So that'll be like, I'll stop in between to say like Now it's the second time. Now it's the third time. Ready? Starting on B natural. Second time through the B. Last time through the B. I don't remember if I repeated. I think I accidentally did it 3 times that time. But anyway, so that's the whole B section. Does anybody want to do that a couple more times, or are we ready to move on to C? Or should we do A and B together? Do you guys A and B together?
Yeah, A and B.
Okay, let's do that. So back to the A part, just a reminder, it starts on A, 3 on E. So let's do the A part and the B part together, and we'll go through all of it 3 times. And I'll pause in between. 1, 2, here we go. Second time, here we go. How are we doing? Does anyone have any questions about either section or want to do it over maybe a couple more times? Are we ready for the C part? Yeah? Okay. C section is all in D major, and as I mentioned earlier, it's very satisfying because we finally hit the one chord in the tune. And there's a couple ways to play it. The way that it was taught to me was, well, I'll just show. Okay, so you can do it either with single notes, if that's what you prefer, or you can also hold a fourth finger on the G string down to keep a D drone going. I'm just going to play the single notes first so you can hear what the melody sounds like, and then I'll show you how to do the drone part. The drone is, it's difficult, but I actually think it's a good technique exercise because so much of fiddle music, you play unison fourth finger. So it's kind of a good exercise for like finger mobility to be able to put your fourth finger down and still play the melody. So anyway, this is just what the melody sounds like in the C part. And if you want to get fancy with it, you can keep your fourth finger down while doing that, and it kind of sounds like this. So feel free to play around with that as we learn the single notes of the melody. But let me just go slowly, note by note, through the C part. So we start on D. Well, actually, let me introduce the pickup notes. B, you're just climbing up to D. So you play B, C natural, D. And then it goes to F sharp, F sharp, E. Then you have a two-note slur on F sharp, E. So far we have. And then you have D, E, F natural. Back to D, to E. Another two-note slur, F sharp, E. And then the notes again are the same, D, E, F sharp, D. To open A, F sharp, to E. So just try with it. I'll do it much slower than that. Let's just try it together. Starting on the climb from B natural. 1, 2, here we go. So let's try that one more time, and then I'll see if you want me to break it up into smaller chunks. 1, 2, here we go. Any questions before we just repeat that like 5 times? Clear? Cool. So let's do that 5 times in a row just to really get it solidified. Maybe a titch faster. 1, 2, here we go. Cool. All right. So we can keep repeating that if people still want more practice with the notes, or we can just play the whole tune through 3 times. Whole tune? Or, yeah? Ready for the whole tune? Okay, cool. So we'll do the all A, B, and C parts. We'll play it through 3 times, and then I'll take any questions anybody might have, and if no one has questions, we'll jump into the chords. All right, from the beginning, on A on the E string, 1, 2, here we go. that 3 times? I think it was 3 times. I lose count as I'm going. I forgot to mention that another drone option for the C part is just playing open A, which I was doing sometimes, and hopefully you caught on to that. But that's an easier way to hit a drum. Cool. All right. So if everyone feels good with the melody, let's move on to the chords. Yeah? All right. We will come back afterwards to the melody again before we learn a harmony. But, okay. And we'll review the melody one more time. So what I'm going to do, like I've done in the past few classes, is I'm going to play the recording of the tune, and I'm going to do it on like 0.75 speed on YouTube, and I'm going to play the chords with it. And I'll explain the shapes now before I start, so you can start doing it if you'd like with me, or you can just listen the whole time. But there's only 3 chords in this whole tune. We first start on an A chord. The way I like to play A when I'm playing chords and backing up people playing the melody is on the G and D strings. I just find open A and E to be a little too blaring, and it covers up the melody. So I like to play a blocked 5th here. If you don't want to play a blocked 5th, you can also do E, first finger on D string, and open A, because blocked 5ths are hard and annoying. So either one of those is a good option. So that's the first A part. The second part starts on B minor, which I do second finger on G and open D. You could also do open D and first finger on A. So those are 2 B minor options. And then the final chord we need is just a D chord. And I like to play D chord with first finger on the G string and open D. But you can also do open D and A. That's a little bit less offensive than the E string. But you could also do any notes in a D chord, which is D, F sharp, and A. And that's kind of true of all of these chords. You can choose to play other notes in the chord if you don't want to just do the root and 5th. You can add the 3rd, or I know a couple of you are in Chris's classes and he loves 3rds and 7ths, so you could always play around with those too. But I tend to play the root and 5th. So I'm going to play through the tune. We're going to play the tune through a speaker now, and I'll play the chords through. And I'll say them. I will say letters. Sometimes I'll say numbers, so you can get used to both. The A chord in D major is 5, B minor is 6, and D is 1. So that's all you need to know. Here we go. I'm going to slow it down. This is all A. Now B minor. 2, 5, A. B minor, 2, A. B minor. 6, 2, 5. B minor. To the 5. Now D. 1 chord. 5. D. D, D to A, and now A. All A. To B minor. To A, B minor. The A chord to B minor, 6, 2, 5, B minor, to A and D, to A, D, 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 to A, 1, A chord, B minor, A, and now to D. A, D, to the A chord, to the A chord, A, A chord, to B minor, A, B minor chord, B minor to A, B, 6 chord, A, B minor, to A and D, A chord to D, to A, D, A, A, 5 chord, 5, to 6, 6, down to 5, and 6, B minor, down to 5, which is A, 6, to the 5, down to 1, to the 5 chord, A, D, to A, to D. Cool. Does everyone understand the chords? Have any questions about the, have any questions about the chords, double stops, way to play the chords or anything? Understand the changes as we go along? If not, that covers the whole chord section of this class. So the last thing we're going to do in class is learn a harmony. For the A part, I like to play the harmony in third position, but I know that's not comfortable for all people, so I'm going to teach it in both third position and first. But the third position one, when you just like shoot up to the C sharp, it just feels really good. So for those who want to try it, we're going to start with that. So we're starting with third finger on C sharp. A way to anchor yourself in third position, put first finger on A, and then just climb up to C. So, yeah, we're starting with C sharp. Should we review the melody before we jump into a harmony, or are people ready to just jump into a harmony part? Ready for harmony? Cool. All right, we'll play through the whole tune at the end one more time. So, the harmony sounds like this. And then you climb back to, I kept forgetting the pickup notes. So note for note, we start with C sharp. Then we have the 3-note slur, B, C sharp, B. Down bow on A. 3-note slur on F sharp, E, F sharp, which is 3, 2, 3 on the A string. Then we play a G natural on down bow. 3-note slur on A, B, C sharp. 4th finger D on down bow. Then B. Wait, sorry, let me think. Yeah, so down bow on D. 3-note slur on B, C sharp, B. Down bow on A. 3-note slur on F sharp, E, F sharp again. And then climb up to C sharp for starting on A. I'm going to now play it down the octave, and if you're trying it in third position, then keep playing it in third position if you'd like. You can still hear what the notes sound like because they're the same notes. I'm just going to play it down an octave. So in first position, we have C sharp on the A string. 3 note slur on B, C sharp, A. Down bow on A. 3 note slur on F sharp, E, F sharp. Down bow on G natural. 3 note slur A, B, C sharp. Down bow on B. Then 3 note slur B, C sharp, B. And then single notes A. Or just down bow on A. And then 3 note slur F sharp, E, F sharp. Climb up to C sharp from A. So now instead of going note for note, I'm just going to play it slowly once so you can hear it one more time. So that's what that sounds like. Let's try, if nobody has any questions, feel free to shout any questions out. But if nobody has any, let's just play through the harmony part 3 times slowly. I'll do it once third position, I'll jump down to first position, and then I'll go back up to third position for the last time. And I'll say second time, third time, in between, just so everybody can get their bearings if they need to. First time, third position. Second time, here we go. Sorry. Last time, I'll go to third position. Here we go. Any questions on that A part harmony? I'm sorry if this isn't cello friendly, Chrissy. I'm not sure if anything in this tune is very cello friendly, but I'm glad you're here anyway. Okay, cool. So that's the A part harmony. Anytime, ask any questions you'd like, but we'll move on to the B part. So the B part, I just play it a third up from the melody. So the melody is... So what I play, starting on D, on the third finger on A. So note for note, that's down bow on D, 3 note slur B, A, B, down bow on D, 3 note slur on B, A, B, down bow on B, 2 note slur E, F sharp, down bow on B, 2 note slur E, C sharp, E, D, and then separate notes C sharp, A. And then that repeats. We have D, down bow on D, 2 note slur E, F sharp, down bow on D, 2 notes are E, D, separate C sharp, and then it just ends on C sharp with a little D note. So let's try that slowly 3 times. 1, 2, starting on 3rd finger D. One more time. Start on D. Anybody have any questions about the notes of that B harmony? Cool. And the last section is the same thing. I just play it up a third if I'm going to play a harmony part. But the reason I wanted to do that little improvisational exercise with the D backing track earlier is, especially in this C part, you can really just go nuts in the key of D. You can play whatever you want, and it sounds good. So we're gonna, at the end of, after I'm done teaching the harmony, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna play the tune again at 0.75 speed, and we're gonna, basically you can do anything you learned in the class. You can play the melody, you can play the chords, and you can play the harmony. I'll be going through things as we did them, so I'll be playing melody, chords, harmony over and over till the track ends. But for now, when we do that, you should experiment just with different notes in D, because it gets really fun. But anyway, the set harmony, if you want to just learn a harmony, is just a third above. So that would be starting on D natural, open D. Note by note, it sounds like this. So we climb up from D natural, D, E, F sharp. Then either 4th finger A or open A to G. 2 notes are on A, G. And then F sharp, G, A, F sharp. G. 2 notes are A, G. Same pattern. F sharp, G, A, F sharp. Then D on A, B on A, and then A, B, A. So there it is, note by note. We're going to do it 3 times together slowly. 1, 2, starting on D. That was 3 times, but I'm not positive. Anyway, so that's the harmony part for all 3 sections. Now we'll play through the tune. Like I said before, I'll just do melody, chords, harmony, and you can practice playing whatever you'd like while we do that. And if there's any final questions at the end, they're totally welcome. And I'll be sending out a YouTube tutorial as well as this class replay tomorrow as like a summary of the class. If anybody would like to practice or review anything that we learned today. So, all right, here we go. We're gonna listen to this recording one last time on 0.75 speed. Oh, I'm gonna start from the beginning. Just make sure it's slow. Yeah, we're good. All right, here we go. Fast. It's a little fast. I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. Sorry about that. All right, let's try it on 60 and see how that feels. That's totally my bad. All right. Still too fast? A little bit? Okay, that's fine. This is a really squirrely hard tune. It's not easy to play at tempo. Let's do one more notch down to 0.5, and that should probably be good. Do chords. A. B minor, B minor, to the A, to B minor, to the A chord, B minor chord, to the A chord, B minor, to the A chord, down to D, 1, to the A, to the D, to the A chord, to the D chord, to the A chord, now harmony. to melody. Chords. A. To B minor. To the A chord, to B minor. To the A chord, back to B minor. 6 chord. 6, down to 5. B minor. A to D. A chord to D chord. Oh, kind of weird they only play it 5 times. Be better if they did 6 so that we could do everything twice. But anyway, any final questions before we Oh, geez, sorry. Hold on. Okay. Any final questions before we close the class for the night? All right, thank you guys so much for coming, and thanks for coming to all the classes this summer.
This is great.
Thank you.
What a fun tune.
Yeah, it is a really fun tune.
Also, what is this tune called?
It's called Spider Shoe.
Spider Shoe.
And you'll get it in a follow-up email. Oriana just decided to join the class. Well, I kind of forced her to do it, so.
I'm so glad that I did. This